If you just joined us, you're on day 2, part 2 of 3, where my neighbor Rich and I have taken our 690s and put them on the back of our pickup trucks and hauled them down to New Mexico, where we left our trucks at the Best Western in Sante Fe, and then we rode our bikes down to Ruidoso, and then on the following day we started this leg of the NMBDR. This particular section is the second dirt section on Brokeback Road, and we'll be traveling that today. We just picked up a full tank of gas at Ruidoso, so we're ready to go for another 180 miles, and but it ends by us having lunch in San Antonio, New Mexico. I need to change my battery. Okay. All right, so we just turned off of 37 at Ruidoso, or 11.5 miles west of there. That highway, it's heading out toward Truth or Consequences, but we're going to go this way in A12. A really nice gravel road that supports several ranches that will pass along the way. It's very important not to go too fast, because the road base that they put down these things costs a lot. It's like $300 per dump truck load, and if you go too fast, you're shoving the gravel over onto the sides. So we're going about 45 miles an hour, which is plenty fast enough, and you want to make sure also that your bikes are muffled. You're not taking the inserts out of your bikes and creating noise for the cows and the wildlife that's around here. That's always very annoying to those people who live on ranches, and we used to have to put up with that in Colorado. And so we're taking, it's a nice leisurely pace. We don't know what's ahead. I do know that other videos that were taken of these sections of roads encountered a lot of mud because they had some rains a day or two before, and their comment was almost across the board that, gee, this isn't any fun. So but we planned. Rich and I looked at the weather, and again we checked to make sure it was going to be dry, because we didn't want those kind of issues. And this road, as you'll see later on, it's an hour-long video of us driving down these gravel roads in the ranch, but we thought we'd just show it to you. It's in its entirety. I may go back and cut out some sections to make it brief, but you can always fast forward and to go to different places that you see. We will encounter antelope, we'll encounter horses, wild or not, cows. We'll get into some really fesh, I think is what they call it, or is that? It's a really fine talcum powder type sand that when you hit it, you're not expecting it, and all of a sudden it's you're getting kind of squirrely. So here's one of the ranches that we're going to pass. If somebody was outside, we wave at them. But if there's any animals around, we want to drive really slow past them, because we don't want to spook them. One thing that ranchers absolutely hate is making their cows run. And I have to be careful and cognizant when I've got my dog on board too, that if I let him off, that he doesn't take too much of an interest in them and decide to chase a calf or something. That's a good way to get your dog shot. You're basically, when they run, they're getting leaner and they don't get as much money at market. So Deacon's chilling out. He's hiding behind the windshield when he needs to. It's really warm, and so he doesn't like the goggles on during that time, because he sweats in his eyeballs. So let's go just take a look and see where we're going from now on. I'll kick back a little bit, play some more music. mention that when you got a nice road like this and there's nothing out in front of you, you get kind of complacent in riding. And you know, about this time I'm start fiddling with my phone and trying to look at the tracks, different things kind of keep me busy. And I failed to notice that over off to the left there's a little dust cloud going along and that I'm not seeing. And so some antelope are just kind of running along, and Deacon will actually notice it first because you'll see his head kind of turn over to the left, and I don't notice it till he's right in front of me. So this is pretty dangerous. Here he comes. Yeah, so you know he was a lot closer than what my video actually shows if you've ever done these things. So be careful out there, guys. Keep your heads up. Don't ever relax. Keep watching the road and paying attention to what you're doing.
Okay, this is that section those guys were dealing with mud. Deacon, stay. What's it look like?
It looks fine.
Okay.
One of the reasons that Rich hangs out behind us for quite a distance is so Deacon doesn't have to breathe the dust. And also, as you can see here, anytime anybody's in front of us, Deacon barks until we pass him.
There's more antelope up here.
Okay, I think we just noticed some more antelope off to the left. Deacon's barking at them. We're kind of slowing down and wondering what the heck they're going to do. They're way off there to the left. And there's a pair of them. Nope, here they come. So we slow down and doggone it, we don't know how they got through that barbed wire fence without getting all hung up. But they did it in a cloud of dust.
That was quick.
That's why I slowed down. I'm used to seeing them doing that at the Bar D. I'm surprised they didn't go through the fence. And why did he want to cross in front of me? That's another, you know, what tactic is that? Oh. Well, next time I'll just slow down sooner. Whereas deer and elk will jump over the barbed wire, the antelope always crawl
Well, we see some cows in the road, and as we come over the rise, we see that there's a watering hole for them. So without wanting to spook anything, I mean, it is kind of calving season. You do see a lot of little guys around. And the calves are always the first to bolt. The mama cows, they don't really care. And you see actually some horses there too at a salt lick. Always fun.
the turn back there? To the left? All right, Deacon, off. Oh, there is a cow back there. Okay, Deacon. Good boy. He's a good boy.
It's been used.
about here we're getting some of that really soft talcum powder, sand or fluff, whatever. It's just my front wheel didn't have very good steering in it. Rich was having a little problem with the tube, and
what a contrast between the two
so
areas that we just
we're
dealt with
cranked up
today.
our steering damper accordingly.
Yeah. We'll have to think about that. I mean, you saw how squirrely just that silty section was. Of course, it was only squirrely for me because of the weight on the front. But as long as I'm under power, I can blast through it, as long as there's not a turn up ahead. Back, putting us on the right track.
Tell you what, I cranked up the Scots and taken off. I could really feel it.
Oh, better or worse? Yeah. right. Oh. Yep. Don't go on the inside. Whoa. Still there. Big pothole of it. More. I'm slowing down. I bet you just used your steering damper there. I did. In fact, I'm going to crank it one more. Whew. My front end went all sideways when I hit that rut of fetch section, or tilted. And I gassed it out of it. I was doing like a flying W. That's just when you got both your legs out on either side and your and your ass is coming off the seat. Oh, he's fine. He doesn't bother him at all. He's a built-in steering dampener, right? As a matter of fact, because he's holding on to that platform, which slows down my steering. But I think I will disconnect him, just in case. Man, it just came on so sudden. And there was that one pit. It was like a pit of that stuff. Hey, look at there, road sign. So there's some sort of ruins that way. Well, we're supposed to go this way, I think. What do you think?
No, this is the way we go.
Hey.
You gotta...
No, you got your gun. Okay, hold on. Leave it there. Leave it there. I'm okay. I can fist bump.
All right, we have just finished the dirt section. This is US 380 that we're going to turn right on to San Antonio. We came out unscathed, no big problems, didn't run into any cows, deer, or horses, or almost antelope. Now about 18 miles down the road, actually 25 miles down the road of San Antonio, about 18 more miles is going to be the entrance into the rest of the NMBDR. Which goes down along the White Sands Missile Range. So it's a good decision factor, which we're going to discuss over lunch, is whether or not we want to take it on or not. Now, when we're going down the road, we were looking for it and watching our GPS on our phones. We actually missed the turn, and we were kind of discussing, was that it? Was that it? Was that it? And then, so what I did, I took the liberty of taking a picture of it. But I want to show you that we're on the blue line right now, and we're going to continue on to the yellow line. The blue line was the entrance to where the section continues down to the left, and so you need to be watching for that. And it looks like this. It's called Fight Ranch Road, County Road 153. If you look at it straight on, if you turn into it, it looks like this. Look for the red mailbox. There's a sign on the right, it's a stop sign on the left, and you know, a cattle guard typically, and you can see the little Fight Ranch with the E turned around backwards. You get to this gate, you've already gone about 65 miles from Ruidoso, and so you got another 65 miles to go. That's 140 miles. You can 690 with 180 mile range. If you're going to be spinning tires and sand, may take you more. We decided to go off and get some more gas, and then we'll make our decision on whether to go, no go. So don't want to hurt yourself on the first day, and then that kind of screws up the whole rest of the week.
Oh, San Antonio. That's right. What's that? San Antonio.
After getting gas, we parked our bikes underneath the shade with some cruiser bikes driven by ladies from someplace, and we're going to be walking into the Owl Bar and Cafe and get into this air conditioning. Temperature is about 90. By the time we got done eating, it's going to be afternoon, and it's going to take another 2.5 hours to drive 75 miles at 35 miles an hour. And we didn't really want to be in the heat, so we did decide to forego that long straight south sandy section and take the highway. And there's New Mexico 1, which is also old Highway 85, is a nice road that keeps you away from the freeway. So we've elected to take that. Still 75 miles, but it'll get us quicker to the motel and later on to someplace cool. Repeat again what I'd said in the earlier video, that in retrospect, if you spent the night at Ruidoso, then you could do the ranch section and the White Sands border section in one day without getting worn out. That alone itself is going to be, like say, 140 miles, which is a lot more reasonable than a 200-mile day. 200 miles is just too much for me and the dog.